Hey, y'all, I am so glad we can be together again today. Beginner's guides were created for people like me, people ready to begin living a full, healthy life. We're a group of beginners, and each month I go through a topic or idea that has changed my life and shaped who I am becoming. My hope is that it'll encourage you on your journey. Today, we're going to talk about a beginner's guide to living compelled. I know this may sound like, yay, rah rah idea. We are compelled. But the truth is, my passion and drive was born not in the mountaintop moments, but in the challenging times of the valleys. So today, I want to take you to my valley. It was 2015. I was exhausted. I'd been up all night with a vomiting child, and I didn't know where my husband was. I had four young daughters. My dad had been diagnosed with a terminal disease. We were grieving a failed adoption of a baby boy we dreamed of. And that night, December 12th, 2015, I learned how deeply addicted my husband was to alcohol. Addiction required lies to live, and I felt completely overwhelmed by the truths I'd learned. For months before, during this very, very dark season, I had been a woman compelled to pray. I had prayed sobbing prayers face down on the dirty carpet of my bedroom floor, begging God for this moment. I had prayed for a rock bottom for the man I loved most. I had asked God for this. To bring him low enough to make it hurt him hard enough that it would truly be rock bottom so that he would be a man compelled to change. If I'm being honest, though, for months, my mind had been filled with words like, I can't. I'm overwhelmed. And this is too much. And the scariest one, I am so done. And that night that I walked through the darkest part of that valley, that was the night where I decided to go from can't to compelled by flipping the script in my life. Do you know what compelled means? It means you can't not do it. Or for you English majors who only heard the double negative, you absolutely must do it. Today, we're going to discuss 3 keys to flipping the script in your life to move from can't to compelled. Your lies become your compelling truth. Your excuses become your compelling why. And your apathy becomes your compelling action. So, first, our lies become our compelling truths. We had 2 more babies after rock bottom. We now have 6 daughters. And do you know what happens when people see the 8 of us walking into a grocery store? They say, wow, you have your hands full. And after hearing this approximately 1,956 times, I started to believe it. The strangers' voices were becoming deeply rooted internal lies. Yes, my hands are full, way too full, and I have no help in this is too hard, and I am overwhelmed, and it is all the responsibility and all the needs and all the tears and all the hard. It is all too much. I'm too much. In fact, I'm convinced it's always going to be too much. We all have voices in our heads that speak lies. Those voices may sound a lot like your own, or they may sound like the voice of someone you love, your mom, your wife, your husband, your friends, a kid. Or it may sound like the voice of someone who's hurt you really badly. Dr. Henry Cloud speaks on how believing lies is the death spiral of a leader. He describes it this way. First, the lie is personal. I can't do this. I'm too much. Then we generalize it and it becomes pervasive. I can't do this. I'm too much. It is all too much. Then we make it permanent. I can't do this. I'm too much. It's all too much. And it will always be too much. Are the lies in your life personal? Are they pervasive? Have they become permanent? Here are some examples of replacing the lies with a truth. I am overwhelmed becomes I'm an overcomer. I'm a failure becomes I am a person committed to progress. I can't coach people. I've regained my weight as a health coach becomes I'm perfectly positioned to coach imperfect people like me. How do you replace the lie that your hands are too full with a truth? Yes, my hands are full. They're full of wonderful things. The second way we flip the script is that our excuses become our compelling why. I'm a health and business coach, so I talk a lot about whys. I help clients create a compelling reason why in order to choose health or choose to grow their businesses even on their hardest days. But as a coach, I hear a lot of excuses too. And here's the thing, our excuses grow and change over time, so our why has to grow up with us. Does your why still work? What was my why when I started a coaching business 7 years ago? I wanted to buy a refurbished fancy blender during the Black Friday sale. So I posted my picture on Thanksgiving Day to promote my coaching. Was the why of a fancy blender powerful enough to sustain me through the last 7 years? No. Here's what I've learned. When my life or my why stops working, I start making excuses. The key is flipping the script, capturing my excuses and turning them into my compelling why. 6 kids could have been a good excuse to slow down or stop working and building businesses, right? But those little girls became the reason why I had to build this business, to show these powerful little women that they could pursue their dreams and raise a family too. I had so many responsibilities. I couldn't add one more thing, right, to my already full hands. But this became a part of my compelling why. If I worked consistently, I could have a little supplemental income to hire some help and like do the things I really hated doing, like laundry. What are your excuses? The ones you only think, the ones you tell your friends and family and spouse and yourself, the ones you give your mentors and leaders. What excuses do you fight so very hard for? I would do this, but I'm too busy. I would go after the dream, but I work full time. I don't know enough people to help me. When you repeat your excuses, you fight for them. And if you decide to keep fighting for your excuses, I can guarantee you will not fight for your goals and dreams. I'm going to say it again. If you decide to keep fighting for your excuses, I can guarantee you will not fight for your goals and dreams. The third way to become a compelled person is to turn your apathy into action. Have you ever felt apathetic? Like been in that I don't care season of life, like second semester senior year when the students start chanting, C's get degrees. Or when your kids have asked you for the same thing 1,000 times and you finally say, whatever. We often use the word apathy to describe teens or lazy people, but the truth is, we all have areas of apathy. The apathy is a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. And until we confront our apathy and turn it into action, we will not become a compelled people. Maybe for you, apathy feels like, I don't care. Apathy feels like, my work doesn't matter. I don't matter. Apathy stops you from making the sales calls. Apathy stops you from starting new connections with people. Apathy stops you from posting on Facebook or leveling up in your health. Apathy keeps you scrolling and drinking and eating cookie dough. Apathy says, I'll never be her. So why even try? Apathy asks, what's the point? I can't. Apathy says, I'm so done. Apathy is the exact opposite of compelled. Compelled means showing up for the vision you've written down and working the mission you've embraced, even when you don't feel like it. Compelled faces rejection and still has the bold conversation. Compelled experiences fear and takes action anyway. Compelled makes the call, declares the goal, stops the scroll. The only thing that will get you out of apathy and into compelling action is confronting lies and excuses. Do you feel compelled? Here's what we're going to do. Right here, right now, we're going to flip the script together. I want you to pull out a pen and a piece of paper. Some of you aren't doing it. I want you to go and do what I tell my kids. You can roll your eyes, do it begrudgingly, drag your feet, complain or cry. This is not a choice. Let's do it. First, I want you to name it. Name your lies and excuses. Okay, side note, I get it. If you're like, I have no idea what to write down, I get it. I have 6 kids. They've eaten my brain cells. And then we lived in a toxic mold house. And that's another story. But my brain doesn't always have the words either. So here are some examples. Let's identify some lies. Lies often begin with, I always or I never. They're often deeply rooted in our identities, and they begin with, I am. Lies, I'm overwhelmed. I always fail. I'm not good enough. I'm too tired. I never follow through. Excuses. I have no time. I have too many responsibilities. I'm not where I want to be with my own goals. How could I help others? I've tried everything. It doesn't work for me. Write it down. For real, you can rip it up later. Write down an area right now where you're experiencing apathy. What can't you do right now? What is stopping you? What's the lie? What's the excuse? Write it down. Second, speak it. I dare you to take it a step further. After this, I want you to say it out loud to yourself and someone else. That voice only has power in your mind because it echoes in the silence of your mind. Get it out of your head and speak it out loud. I want you to write down the person you're going to tell your excuses or lies to so they can partner with you with the next step. Third, confront the lies and excuses with compelling truths and whys and actions. The goal is to stop giving power to and focusing on the lie or excuse. Begin focusing on the truth. I want you now to write down that truth that directly confronts the lie below it. Did you write the truth down? I think there's more. If we are truly going to attack apathy, we must make this compelling. Let's get all the way to something that makes you come alive inside. Compelling is different than possible. Compelling is different than possible. This isn't just turning, I'm too busy, into, I have time. This is, I must find time. I'm going to change the life of my kids and future grandkids and their kids too. I'm creating a legacy of overcomers. I must find time. Okay, do you have a compelling truth or compelling why? I'd love for you to make it more compelling. Some of you are thinking the only way to be compelled is to hustle harder or work more hours. What if the most compelling action you can take is to take care of yourself? Hire a therapist. Go to a really healthy BMI from a place of self compassion instead of judgment. Reward yourself with self care. Cultivate new life giving relationships. I've spent the last 6 years flipping the script. And when I look back on the valley I experienced on the night of December 12th, 2015, I can see myself weeping in bed. And I wish I could whisper this in my own ear. As the woman I am today, to the woman I was then. And I really want to just speak these words over you. This is going to be hard. The biggest battle is in your mind. Silence the lies and replace them with truth. Stop making excuses for not investing in your physical and emotional health. Here is our new script. You can do this because you were made to do hard things. You are not alone. You are surrounded by authentic community. You can stand up for yourself. You can take courageous action. You can be powerful and vulnerable. You are not overwhelmed. You are an overcomer. You can keep promises to yourself. You can make a difference. You can pursue your dreams. You can make an impact, influence others, and leave a legacy. You can say no. You can live life on purpose for a purpose, and you will not give up. You will show up every day for your dreams and the dreams of others. You can't not. You absolutely must. You can't see the top of the mountain because the valley is really dark. But I'm here 6 years later in a marriage worth fighting for, with 6 beautiful girls and a business filled with incredible people. And today I am standing on the mountaintop cheering you on, and you have a whole crowd of others who need you to do this. Because you going through this valley will give them hope and courage to walk through their own. So, friends, what if this day was a marked moment? What if you remember today as the day you decided to flip the script and go from can't to compelled? You are no longer defined by your excuses, lies, or can'ts. You are defined as a person compelled. I want you to go and print up our beginner's guide and join me in exploring how to live a compelled life. Thank you.